It is March 7th, Sunday, 2021.
And we get to talk about football.
Finally.
Oh.
If you're new to the channel, we do a giveaway. It is locked behind a paywall. $1 a month, $12 a year. However, that's to keep your data safe. The scammers, the spammers, and the bots are also out because it's behind that paywall. If I can make it cheaper, I would. But this year, AA is giving Hopkins. Yours truly is giving Juju Smith-Schuster. And Cowboy Joe is giving Kamara. We also have a $10 a month Patreon for our people who want to keep the lights on, pay the bills. They're also going to have access to all of our analytics, charts, and data via email. Attached to this, we have all 32 teams, their salary cap space, pending free agents, and some savings from players that they cut. Some of the big name ones. Every 25 new members, we give away a signed helmet. Right now, it's Kenny Galladay. Hopefully, not with the Lions, Kenny Galladay, but as of right now, he is a Lion.
Yeah.
And what we want to start off this year is this is not a normal season. This is going to be a slaughter. In the next 5 to 7 days, I've had sources tell me 20% of the league could get cut in the next 5 to 7. This has never happened.
No, with the cap situation, how everything's dropped as far as it is, some of these teams have to cut their rosters just to get even.
Yeah, and being that saturated, guys like Smith-Schuster, Galladay, some of the bigger name players, they're not going to get that money that they're expecting because you can get less talent for less money, fill up more gaps.
Yeah, normally these big free agent names get signed by the team that have them on free agency. That's not going to happen. The market's going to be flooded. A lot of these guys are trying to avoid being cut. That's why there's not a lot of talk right now. Usually they're off season, so they're partying and tweetering and chattering and snapping and whatever the social media you want to use. But yeah, typically what happens is your salary cap is tied fundamentally on the income of the NFL. And because of COVID, not as many butts in the seat buying hot dogs, it hurt the whole league. So there are teams like the Saints that are $48 million over their cap. So the slaughter is coming. It's all these people are doing their thing, their draft mocks and this, and all this is just random. It literally has no meaning. Usually doesn't anyway, because they're wrong so goddamn often. But this year's specific. The draft's going to be a shit show. There's so many free agents, so many things to go through, and you can't interview nearly as many people.
Oh, yeah.
No.
Usually there are 40, 50 interviews lined up. Now you have to have pre-screen, scheduled, Skype, or however they do it. You guys think about Stafford Goff trade?
I like it for the Rams. I think it's a good move, and it helps them possibly get over the hump. Gets them a lot closer than what they had with Goff, I think.
I love Stafford.
Oh, I think the Lions robbed the Rams. I was hard on Stafford last year. Everybody knows it. Anybody who watched the show last year knows it. Stafford was in Detroit all those years. Couldn't get him over the hump.
It's because he's in Detroit.
Well, and it only seems like as long as he's got that deep threat receiver, that's the only thing he's good at. He had Megatron. He had Galladay. He really doesn't have that in L.A. Maybe with Woods.
With Woods, I think Woods' value goes up, and it was already going up after last year. So,
I mean, it's a better situation for Stafford. Don't get me wrong, but by week 8, we'll see if I'm sitting here eating crow with him because I don't see him getting any better just because he's with a different team.
I do.
And the Lions made out like a bandit. They robbed the Rams with him.
The Lions did good looking forward, but if you stand Goff next to Matthew Stafford, it's not even close.
There's no doubt. Goff is horrible.
Matthew Stafford has been productive with Cephas, with Marvin, he didn't need Megatron. Yeah, Megatron was fed because he's the best guy there, but they had Ebron. They had talent around him.
He could not get them into the playoffs.
That's my point. when he had those things, and then when he didn't have those things. His numbers were pretty close. He's going to have a 60% completion percentage. He's going to throw for 4,000 yards. He's a good quarterback. He needs to be on the field. Well, in L.A., they have an offensive line that can keep him upright.
Something he hasn't had. And they might have a run game next year, something that he's not used to either.
He might explode.
Detroit hasn't had a run game since Barry Sanders. They just kept flipping through running backs, flipping through them. They could not find a good one.
Yeah, I think the Rams are going to really excel with Matthew Stafford. I think they've had the kid gloves on for a little too long. I can see them being a top 3-4 team, 21 in my rankings so far. A lot of stuff still about to happen, but I think the Rams, they had a lot of problems last year. I think they could have pushed the Super Bowl if everything went according to plan. But if you swap Goff with Matthew Stafford, they're one of my favorites. I'll just say that.
I like him more.
I think it's just going to take a little more than just Stafford to help the Rams a little bit.
What else do they need? They have a top defense.
Now, if they go out and they pick up a Smith-Schuster or a deep threat quarterback, wide receiver like that, now I think we got something to say about the Rams.
You don't like Woody?
I like Woods, but not as that one deep threat guy.
He did it last
Because
year.
to me, him and Kupp are interchangeable. You can.
I don't think they are interchangeable.
I think they are.
They do a lot of
think
similar
they're more
things, but Kupp is a lot more physical. He blocks on the outside.
He's better on the outside as receiver. Kupp is more of an inside guy. They could play both, but they're better at on that side.
Yeah, I think they need a more solidified tight end to run that offense. I know he likes to move his tight ends around. He needs more of a blocking tight end. But I think he's got enough weapons there to succeed.
When the Rams got enough cap room, I mean, guys like Jared Cook is out there now. I mean, that might be a good fit for him.
Maybe.
Jared Cook on the Rams?
There's going to be a lot.
The Rams are hurting in cap. They're $35 million over right now.
Oh, they're all over?
Yeah.
Ooh.
Yeah, they are over. There's going to be a lot in free agency, which, brings me to the next point. You're going to have teams that everyone expects to be good that aren't going to be good. And if you're not paying attention, it's just going to go by. Teams like the Jets, $70 million. They're going to be able to buy a team. I don't think Joe Douglas is that type of person. He said his whole career he wants to build it through the draft. My point is, there are teams with cap room, and there's going to be a bunch of players in free agency. You're going to see a lot of teams swapping power struggle in
we said it earlier. The Saints were $48 million over. They've been going to the conference championship divisional round every single year. They might not get that far this year with what they have to do this season, this offseason.
Yeah. I mean, Chiefs, they're over. Jacksonville's, they could put together a Super Bowl push, honestly.
With as much cap as they have.
$85 million with a whole team on free agency that they could just handpick. If they're smart, the agents will do a lot of 1 year. You'll see a lot of 1 year deals. But if you want money, which most players do, they're going to go after teams that have a lot of space. That's the only way to get it. There's very few good teams that have space.
But that's why they're good. They have good players. They got to pay them players. And now with that cap dropping as much as it did, it's going to hurt those teams.
Yeah. The other trade that happened was Wentz to the Indianapolis Colts.
That's a great trade for the Colts.
I'm not sold on it.
No, that trade. I don't think that trade was good for anybody, honestly.
I have never been a believer in Wentz.
I have been, but I soured on him because the Eagles just completely failed as a team, as a whole.
He had 1 year where he looked good, and that team.
And that was with Frank Reich.
That was when the team won the Super Bowl. But they won it with Foles and not Wentz, because that's when Wentz went down.
They did. Foles did win it, but Foles didn't play as good as Wentz played through the season. That team pushed him up to win that Super Bowl.
That team was loaded.
The team was loaded, but the Colts right now have a better offensive line than the Eagles did that season.
They do.
They have a better run game. They don't have as good of weapons, but they have $44 million in cap right now to go get one of these elite receivers that is in free agency, which is all they need because they already have an elite defense.
I think they need two.
They only really need one.
I mean, Pittman's going to be good.
Maybe a tight end. But, yeah, I like Pittman.
I like Pittman, but...
And Hilton's going to be gone. Hilton's a free agent, I believe, this year.
Yeah, he wasn't really doing much last year.
Yeah, he wasn't.
Though.
They need to grab one of these wide receivers, and they need to draft another weapon, whether it's a Kyle Pitts or a.
They could. They have the 21st pick, so they could get a receiver right there, an explosive one like maybe Bateman.
No, we'll see. It is what it is. I will backtrack on Wentz because this situation gives him no excuses. If Wentz doesn't do well, and he looks like a Jimmy G, he looks like a low 20s, even mid 20 quarterback. He's completely.
I don't expect him to be that low.
Basically, if he's looked like Wentz for the last couple of years, it's a failure.
He needs to be a top 15 quarterback this year.
I think he'll be closer to top 10 this year.
I'm just saying he'll lose his job, and no one will re-sign him if he's not.
Yeah, this is it right here.
This is a golden goose that he got handed to him. Mm-hmm. And if you believe in Wentz, okay, let me see it. The other little bit of news, there was some coaching changes. Obvious one was Urban Meyer. Not a huge college fan. I know some of the things that he does. I know you look at college a little more than me. I'll let you talk on that.
Urban Meyer has been, as a college coach, he's been fantastic. He's won 3 national championships. He's never had a losing season, no matter what school he coached at. Coached at 4 different colleges. Made them all winners. The NFL is a different breed, so it's going to be interesting to see because he doesn't go out. He can't go out and just hand pick players. He can't go out. This is the guy. You come to my team and you're going to be a starter right away. You can't do that.
Well, this is the year to try with all these free agents
and as much cap as they have.
I think with the cap, he wants to bring in the young players because he wants them to be coachable. I don't see him wanting to go out and get a lot of older players like a Smith-Schuster, for example, that's already pretty much set in their ways. I think he wants these young players that he can coach them up, get them on his side.
Yeah, but it's a good opportunity. It's a good opportunity to handpick core players, offensive linemen, defensive linemen, some young guy in free agency. They could handpick a few. They got the money to pay just about anybody that hits free agency, even if it's Russell Wilson.
His big thing, defense. He's always had tremendous linebackers. Offense, he's always had a good scrambling quarterback, which because Trevor Lawrence, he gets a really good quarterback. Yeah. And Robinson could have a big year there in the backfield.
That's what I'm excited for. I want to see that one back set. And Robinson, I love that kid.
Yeah.
But like I said, he
looked pretty good for a bad Jacksonville team last year.
He reminds me of Lindsey, which makes me hesitant. Makes me hesitant because
because he can play
hard. No, because he's playing hard. And any player in the NFL plays hard will have a good season. But whenever they get recognized, get paid, or anything, they'll pull back a lot.
Yeah, but
why?
Robinson's
Because
bigger.
Your body can't handle it.
No, maybe not continuously, but he is bigger and he can take more.
A good translation of this is the UFC. You get a new UFC fighter in, he fights 2, 3, 4 times a year. That's not sustainable.
No.
Robinson is a good player. Why? Because he was playing that way. I'm just worried that it's not sustainable.
I think he'll be fine for at least one more year, minimum. Because he's fresh.
Yeah. I don't know if his body style is sustainable. Some people are. There's a lot of Kamaras out there that can just do it day in and day out. And then there's a lot of guys who can't. So, I don't know. I'm excited for that. Do you think he can turn it around 1 year? With all this cap space, all these free agents, a new head coach.
1 year, possibly.
I think it's going to take more than 1 year.
Probably 2 to 3, but he could do it in 1 if he really went all out.
I could see him getting second in the division.
I mean, you'll definitely see an improvement in the team.
Oh, yeah.
But I think it's going to be at least 2 to 3 years before they're viable, championship caliber, before they start putting them in the conversations.
The other coaching change happened in Seattle, and nobody's really talking about it or noticing. Once this happened, once Shane Waldron came in, that's when the rumors for Russell Wilson happened. It's not a coincidence. That is for good reason. And one of the things Russell said was he wanted a legacy, like Tom Brady, right? He can't have a legacy without 2 things. Super Bowls, right? Maybe Seattle is a good team for that. I don't know. The second thing is usage. Right? You can win a Super Bowl and not be that big part of a team. It's not going to build you a legacy.
Oh, there's been a few teams win a Super Bowl and the quarterback hasn't been fantastic.
Yeah.
So Waldron is a guy that is a very simple passing attack offense. He runs the ball between. He's trying to pull everyone in and everyone up. And then he goes over the top or out to the side. That's his whole game plan. Run the ball, run the ball. Pete Carroll, what does he want to do? He wants to run the ball. He brings in an offensive coordinator who brought in 2 coaches of his own that want to run the ball. And Russell Wilson's like, kind of want to get out of here. Now, he could be the game manager, but that's not going to do anything for your legacy. And I believe Pete Carroll is sitting back. Hey, we had a couple years with Russell after he got paid. Hasn't done us very good. But before he got that contract, we were killing it. I think they could do it again. I think maybe they want a young guy on a rookie deal or a cheap quarterback and play good defense and run the ball. So I think DK fits Waldron's offense, but I don't think Russell wants to be a part of that. I'm not saying he'll leave, but I think both parties agree on that topic. Not a lot of people talking about this. I think it should be. I wanted to bring it to light, especially if you're like a fantasy player. You were holding some Seattle players. I think that offense is going to be different. I don't know how much different.
Is it really going to be that much different? 'Cause, I mean, they're just going to run like they did before, really.
Yeah.
And then bomb.
Yeah, it's just a little different because of the usage. So when 2020, if Russell Wilson's going to throw the ball, he's got options, right? Most offenses, in the NFL, have options. They have like a man beater and a zone beater. You have your deep play and you have a safety net. They have options. That's not how this offense is going to be run. This offense is going to be, we're running the ball and then we're going to take a shot. And you're going to have a bullshit route to pull a corner in that is not going to be open, so maybe a guy can sneak through. And he's either open or he's not. If he's not, plays dead. Like, that's literally the whole design is for that one Hail Mary throw. I'm sure it's going to be a little more complicated than that. But in layman's terms, it's basically what it is. So you have a quarterback like a Russell Wilson who's a high IQ player who now has limited options. Right? You're taking away some of that that makes him good and just saying, oh, we don't need this part of you. Now just stand there and throw the ball. This guy, he's either open or he's not. If he's not, you just run away, throw the ball away. So he doesn't want to play for that system. I don't think he'll not, right? But I don't think he wants to.
Yeah, I mean, if one of the teams that he wants to go to, if they make the good enough offer and Seattle gets rid of him, if Seattle can get the quarterback that they do want in there, Metcalf is going to shine even more because he is that deep threat that they're looking for.
He is.
I think DK could be just fine as a fantasy aspect. I think he's a good weapon for that offense.
I think if Wilson leaves, he does regress a little bit because his accuracy was just phenomenal to do some of the things that Metcalf was able to do on those catches. He wouldn't have been able to without that accuracy.
Yeah, but if they throw the ball in this system, he's going to be wide open.
Yeah, I don't think as much, but yeah, he will be open.
So he'll have more leverage to adjust. But that's a good point.
Yeah.
Outside of quarterback changes, it's really hard to analyze how things are going to play out. There's a lot of teams that need an Aaron Rodgers, a Russell Wilson. There's a lot of teams that don't. Niners, the Jets now have an offensive system that's really quarterback friendly. You don't have to really think a whole lot, right? It's those two perfect examples, the Niners and the new Jets offense. Shanahan's. You're rolling, okay? You're going to have a slant, a cross, like everything's in front of you. And you're just looking downfield. Yeah, it's like 3 or 4 reads, but it's in the same direction. So it's really simple. It makes the quarterback's job really simple. Those are people that aren't going to go trade for a Deshaun Watson. I think that's really the only reason why the Jets didn't go after Deshaun Watson. I don't think the Jets will get Deshaun Watson. I'll go a step further. I don't think the Jets are going to draft a quarterback either. They might, because it's a new coach and a new GM, and they want their guy. Longer contract, but I don't think they get better from it. I think that system, they can just use a game manager. They don't want an Aaron Rodgers. Now the Bears, I could see the Bears trying to get somebody.
Yeah, I heard they were trying to go to get Russell Wilson.
Yeah. I think Deshaun Watson would be there if he wanted to go there. I don't know if he wants to go there.
I don't know if the Bears want to pay that price, though. Houston's going to want an arm and a leg for him.
They haven't done it in the past with Khalil Mack?
Yeah.
Yeah.
And that didn't help them much.
Their cap is hurting right now. They're $7 million over, so they do got to make some moves if they want to get them.
Yeah, and rule of thumb is $6 to $8 million for your rookie signings. So the point is, it's going to be crazy. This offseason is not like any offseason we've ever seen before. And a lot of people are just like not paying attention right now because it's offseason. And they're going to come back week 1 and be like, what the hell is this?
Carolina's going to be the team to watch because they've already tried to pull a big trigger trying to trade McCaffrey to get Watson.
Yeah.
They want a quarterback.
Yeah, they really want a quarterback, and I'm waiting to see what they want to give up because they don't believe in Bridgewater.
His system, that's what they want. They want even Russell Wilson to be a good fit. I don't know. I think they go after somebody. They have to get somebody because as good as Bridgewater has been for them, he doesn't fit.
No.
He could do it. He showed he could do it. But they need a mobile guy. They like to get their quarterback on the outside of the pocket. And he can't really do that. And like I said, week 1 of last year, McCaffrey is not a good fit for the system. They can use him. He's going to be good. But they're looking at this and the financials, and they're like, hey, this is a great asset. Let's try to get our quarterback. So I can very well see McCaffrey going somewhere, too. There's going to be a lot of trades.
And Davis, we already know, can carry the load. So
yeah, he did prove to be good.
That's why I see McCaffrey is flexible enough they can use him for his trade bait.
My favorite analytic stat that I like to look at is weight to speed distribution. That's how heavy you are by the quickness you have. If you're a big guy that has a high quickness, I love you. I love you. Mike Davis, Zeke scored high on it. That one stat is my favorite stat for running backs. And I look at it every year for the rookies that coming up. Just because it's hard to take big guys down. And if they're quick, then you have a Jerome Bettis. Then you have those people usually have success. They don't have the high end like a Kamara or a Barry Sanders. They don't have that high end potential, but they're usually really safe.
What about Derrick Henry?
Derrick Henry has the highest in the NFL. He has the highest in the NFL until this last year. You know who took that? Colts got him.
Marlon Mack?
Marlon Mack.
Well, you figure with the crutches and the braces and everything, they added it to his weight.
Yeah. So Taylor was?
Taylor is now the highest weight to quickness distribution percentage. That's my favorite stat. And they're always safe. We have our rookie rankings, mock drafts, free agent recaps, and a whole bunch more coming up. Stay tuned. See you next Sunday.
See ya. Thanks for watching.